Hello, Pete's Basement fans. This is Batman.
Actually, it's not. It's Pete sitting here in his Batman Snuggie. Thanks, Paula. First of all, guys, this is just kind of an impromptu episode of The Basement. As you can see, I am not in the basement. But I want to thank everybody who hit us up and wrote letters and, Facebooked us and whatever else to see how we were doing. Sandy hit us pretty hard here in Brooklyn, harder than we ever expected. I got off pretty easy. We've been about going on 6 days now without power, but fuck it, man, there's plenty of people out there way worse off than me. I've been doing some charity work, boxing up clothes and food and everything with my cousin at the American Legion, just to make some donations to people out in Rockaway and Staten Island where, they really got whacked. And it's been pretty crazy. And just thanks to everybody who sent, just send their regards. The basement is okay. There is no flooding or anything. It's just we have no power. So hopefully Con Edison gets us back on. Probably, according to them, won't be till next Friday. So I spent my Halloween reading old EC horror comics in the dark by candlelight. I figured that was some nice ambiance, a nice way to spend the holiday, sort of. At this point, I've just kind of been reading whatever's around the house. I obviously did not get to the shop this week. So one thing I did find that I really liked was I've been checking out these Vampirella Dark Shadows crossovers. I've been buying them for my mom, most of the Dark Shadows books. And I figured, hey, this could be an interesting story. And it really was. The villain is Lady Bathory, who apparently was a vampire. If you know your history, she was the crazy, 15th century European bitch that killed a bunch of virgins and bathed in their blood because she thought it kept her young. So it stands to reason, that she could have been a vampire or, some kind of crazy variation thereof. So now it's up to Barnabas Collins and Vampirella to go after her and stop her from killing a bunch of virgin women in modern-day New York. And it's really cool because Vampirella is obviously a very sexual being. She always has been since her inception by Frank Frazetta. And Barnabas Collins is just kind of a stuffed shirt, old fucking, European, not European, New England kind of vampire. And he's just like, oh my God, what's going on here? And she's like, you drink people's blood for a living, but the slightest inkling of sex makes you fucking clam up. The humor is definitely there, and it's also guest stars Pantha and Barnabas' werewolf buddy, whose name escapes me at the moment. But it's been a pretty fun series. It's up to issue 3 now. I think it's probably going for about 5 or 6. I've been having some fun with that, and other than that, I've just been reading a whole bunch of the old EC books that I've been getting since, when it gets dark, I have one of these battery-operated lanterns, and I try not to use that too much because you can't really get out for more batteries, because, you're going to get into a fight at the grocery store. But, just reading by candlelight, like Edgar Allan Poe or some shit. It's pretty crazy. But, again, thank you, everybody, for, hitting us up. We're doing okay, and we hope to be back as soon as humanly possible. We'll see you in a little while. I'm going to turn you over to Steve, and he's got a review for you.
Hey, so as Pete mentioned, the basement is intact, thankfully. But obviously our hearts go out to all the people affected by Hurricane Sandy. It just goes to show that for the most part, most people do step up to the plate when these kind of things happen, and they do their best to donate their time or money or clothes or food, whatever, the people in need are in need of. And it's a good thing to see. I'm going to talk about a trade that I picked up and something else. And the trade is Batman False Faces by Brian K. Vaughn. It's a collection of 4 Brian K. Vaughan stories. The first story is called Close Before Striking. Obviously written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Scott McDaniel. It was featured in Batman 589 or 588. It's coming up on the screen now. Okay, the main villains are the ventriloquist and Scarface, obviously, because they go hand in hand. Pardon the pun. Ah, you see what I did there? Yeah. Now, what you find out is that Batman has been using an alias to infiltrate the crime world of Gotham. Matches Malone. So when he goes undercover as Matches Malone, he's getting intel. He's getting information so that he can then use that information to stop whatever's about to happen. And what he finds out as Matches Malone is that there's these bullets being imported into Gotham that Scarface is in charge of. That's, I think they call them cop killer bullets or something like that. I guess because they can probably infiltrate bulletproof vests. So obviously Batman wants to stop that, and he does. Now, the way he gets that information as Matches Malone is he strikes up a partnership or something like that between Matches Malone, this character, and Scarface. So obviously when Batman stops the import, Scarface immediately thinks Matches Malone double-crossed him. So now what you come to find out, okay, so then obviously Scarface says, okay, he's dead. So then he kills Matches Malone, right? But then you think, how can he kill Matches Malone? Batman is Matches Malone. All right. You got me so far? We're good? All right. Now what you find out is that Matches Malone is a real person, not just somebody that Batman created. There was Matches Malone and his brother Carver. They were brothers, and they were criminals. Now in the past, Batman confronted both of them. Carver ended up killing himself, and Batman was led to believe that Matches Malone also killed himself. So when Batman found out about that, instead of reporting it to the police, he decided to use that in his favor. He got rid of the bodies and everything, and then he then became Matches Malone through disguise, obviously, so he can continue getting information because Matches Malone had street cred and everything. So he figured, okay, I'll pretend to be this guy, and I'll get all the information I need so I can stop things from happening. But what you find out is that Matches Malone faked his own death. Batman didn't realize that. So he was hiding in New Jersey, which is where he's from, which is a good place to hide. So then, fast forward, when Scarface starts saying Matches Malone is a rat, he's a double crosser, it got word to the real Matches Malone in Jersey, and then he came back to set the record straight, and then he killed. Scarface ended up killing him, not realizing the situation. That was a cool story. I'm sorry if I'm making it sound convoluted, but I would recommend it. It was a good story. I think it spanned over 2 or 3 issues of Batman. I think 587 to 589 or something like that. But it was a cool story, and it showed Batman kind of like slipping a little bit. He's becoming this character so often that he felt that since he wasn't Batman at the time, or even Bruce Wayne, he can do things that he wouldn't normally do, like come close to killing somebody. And Nightwing and the Oracle kind of stop him from like going over that line. It was good. I liked it. I think it was the best story out of the in the collection. So then the second story is called Mimsy Where the Bar Goes, and that was illustrated by Rick Burchett. So it has to do with the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter's at Arkham. He's known for brainwashing people. He's, psychotic, but he's known for brainwashing people. He breaks out of prison by brainwashing his psychiatrist. And then he basically turns his psychiatrist into a monster. And the reason, as explained by a psychiatrist, when the Batman obviously saves the day, uses an antidote and gets him back to his normal human self. And he says, I think, that was my phone. He says, I think he did this, the Mad Hatter, to show me what he sees, that something just clicks and he doesn't know what's going on anymore, and something else just takes over. And he's mad. And mad in the sense of being insane. Not mad like angry, or mad like very. And, you know, as if you would say, it's mad hot in here. Very hot in here. No, not that kind of mad. Mad like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs mad. So that was that story. And that was good too. I liked the first one better, but that was good. Third story doesn't have Batman at all. It's Wonder Woman's story. Wonder Woman's history is that she was formed from clay. So Clayface gets the brilliant idea that, okay, if she was formed from clay, she probably still has some sort of remnants or some of clay or something in her. So I'm going to extract that clay, become superhuman myself. And he successfully does it. And then Wonder Woman's power lessens. And she's then like on par with her sister, Donna Troy. So then there's a little, there's like a little issue between them. Like it's a little understanding between them, which is good. And then Batman's not in it. Nightwing is in it. And Donna Troy. Isn't Nightwing in it? No, I'm confusing things now. He might have been in it. I don't remember now. I'm sorry. But anyway, through Batman's scientific knowledge, they need like to use like the same idea of a centrifuge and take it back out of him and give it back to her. The power. So that's successfully done. It was done in a cool way. So it was a good story too. The three stories, they were all good. Like I said, the first one I liked the best, but they were all good. The second story was seen in Detective Comics, the one with the Mad Hatter. And that fit because, like, in the very beginning, he's doing a lot of, throughout he's doing detective work up until he actually finds the Mad Hatter. So that, that fits. And then the third story was in a Wonder Woman issue. It wasn't, obviously, Batman. And then the fourth story, I think, was Gotham City something. I'll put it up. And it wasn't a story, it was just like a little thing. Batman, False Faces. If you have the original issue, you just read the original issues. You can probably find it on eBay for like $10. I recommend it. So, and then I also want to talk about, I don't think I've ever, in the 5 years we've done this, or whatever it's been, I don't think I've ever brought this up. So there it is. Oh, really quick. When was this come out? 94 probably? 93? Hold on. 95. Alright. So, around that time, the internet wasn't available to most people. Well, most people didn't have it, rather. And I was one of those people who didn't have it. So if you had a comic book store close to you, and then you went every week, and you bought your comics there, and then you went on vacation for a few weeks, and you come back, and in that time frame they leave, you can't find them, you don't know where they went. Because I didn't really even pay attention to the name of the place, or, I mean, I probably could have found them, but nowadays you just, you just bloop, and you find it. Then you couldn't do it. So, why am I telling you that story? I'm not even sure, necessarily. It just reminded me. When I said 1995, it reminded me of that. So, anyway, one of the things I bought there, at that comic book place, was this. I bought almost every single issue of Ren and Stimpy at that specific shop. And, which I still have. I think there were only 34 issues of Ren and Stimpy, but this is Comic Book by Spunko. Marvel put it out. It's huge. And like this, it's 10 cents times 69.5, $6.95, which is almost the price of a regular size comic book now. But as you can see, I think it was illustrated by John Pisfolucci. Yeah, illustrated by John K. and Jim Smith. Really cool, really funny. It's George Licker and Jimmy the Idiot Boy. So, it's just as insane as the Ren and Stimpy comics. It's just as funny. So, just wanted to talk about that. I don't think I've ever brought it up. I don't think I ever brought it to the show. You know, me and Roger are huge Ren and Stimpy fans, and John K fans, and this is issue 1, volume 1, as if there was an issue 2, which I don't think. Oh, maybe there is an issue 2. I have to look that up now. Anyway, that's enough for me. I wasted your time long enough. We'll see you next time, hopefully in the basement. If not, then we'll do this again until we can get back there. If you need to contact us, we're questions@Pete'sBasement.com, Facebook.com/Pete'sBasement, YouTube.com/Pete'sBasement, Twitter.com/Pete'sBasement, and Pete'sBasement.com. So, another thing really quick, while I have you, take the survey, subscribe to the Hall. What else? There's a few other things I'm going to mention. Watch old episodes. We have a best of section of the episodes that we feel the best ones that we've done. Watch them if you haven't. Watch them again if you have. Don't forget the well, I forgot what I was going to say. So that's it. Why am I telling you that story? I don't know. All I'm saying is that it just reminded me of the time. I'm sorry. I had a lot of time to kill. You know, Pete had segments like 2 minutes long.
Hello, Steve. This is the test run. I'm Batman.
Like Edgar Allan Poe or some shit.